Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And we are specifically going to talk about how even if post-alignment Dungeons and Dragons manifests and the heart is ripped out of Dungeons and Dragons, there's still going to be lots of good times left in Dungeons and Dragons for people who care to have them. All right. So the reason why we're talking about this today is the Masters of the Universe Revelation. I really think that's a hinge in history. It is a big deal. If you pay very close attention to Masters of the Universe Revelation, you can learn a lot about the future of Dungeons and Dragons, and you're also going to learn a lot about the current model for Hollywood, right? So what happened with Masters of the Universe Revelation is, of course, Kevin Smith came in, had absolute, passionate disdain for the He-Man property, and just used the show to eviscerate any vestiges of honor or, any respect that was ever given, any respect that America ever had for He-Man. He just made sure to, show as much disrespect for the source material and, just really used control of the show to trash the show, right? And so the obvious answer, and you hear this from grognards everywhere, they're like, if you don't respect the show, nobody's going to buy your product. And it's wrong. It's just flat out wrong. One of the things that's becoming super clear is this show has a fantastic toy line and lots of people are buying it no matter what they think about the show, right? And honestly, the other thing is Netflix has already purchased the second season, part 2 of this He-Man show. And the reality is, even if they never get anything more from it, everybody was talking about the Masters of the Universe Revelation. And in America, infamy and fame are the same, so it really didn't matter what they were saying, right? So, with all that considered, right, you then reach the point where also, look what was happening for Kevin Smith, right? Everybody had Kevin Smith, on the tip of their tongue, and, was saying his name and talking about him, right as he's spinning up Clerks 3, right? Which is exactly the type of he just needs his name out there, and with his new project, who cares about Clerks 3, right? But people care about the guy who killed Masters of the Universe and laid the corpse in the dirt, right? And that's what was done with Masters of the Universe Revelation, in my opinion, right? And so it's all up for Kevin Smith. It's all up for Netflix. And frankly, here's the other part. This is what really amazed me, right? So did a show that I hated bring me joy? The answer is yes. A show that I hated very much brought me joy, right? So how did that happen? Well, I'm going to tell you. So I watched Masters of the Universe, hated the show. I really enjoyed the 2 weeks of content beforehand saying, hey, guess what? Kevin Smith's going to absolutely destroy He-Man, Masters of the Universe with this show. He's going to show it incredible disrespect. And then I really enjoyed the 2 weeks of commentary afterwards where they were like, we told you, right? And then all that commentary, right? So I didn't like the 2.5 hours, but what really blew my mind is I was like, well, I didn't like that Masters Universe Revelation. Why don't I go check out the original 1980s, right? Well, when I went to see where I could stream the original 1980s, I found there is a 2002 show of He-Man Masters of the Universe, which was redone with better art and better story. And it is fully, there's 2 seasons of it, and it's fantastic. I've been watching it, and I really, really dig it. It's absolutely fantastic. It has amazing art, it has really good action, and the characters are fully respected by the creators, right? And so I would have never known that He-Man had a 2002 remake that I could watch with 2 seasons of fantastic action. Excuse me. And I'm just really thrilled. Excuse me. So I'm just really thrilled, and I've been watching this show that I would never have known existed if it wasn't for Masters of the Universe Revelation putting He-Man in front of me. Because honestly, I'm not a He-Man fan. I would have never thought about He-Man if the Kevin Smith show did not point me directly to it, right? So
I think right now there's a stalwart of Dungeons and Dragons fans out there, and I think they have about a 25% chance of stopping post-alignment Dungeons and Dragons. But I think there is a 75% chance that the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition design team is going to do what they do, right? They're going to follow the Hollywood model. They're going to give Dungeons and Dragons to people who have burning contempt for Dungeons and Dragons and everything in Dungeons and Dragons. And then what's going to happen with the process has already started with Dungeons and Dragons is they're going to rip out alignment. They're going to rip out all faith-based heroes, which is clerics and paladins. They're going to fundamentally transform them so far that they don't stand for what they ever did stand for, and they're not really recognizable. And then they're going to make other very bad changes to the game. So when the game has its heart ripped out, I would be like, oh, D&D's dead. The thing I love is dead. But the reality is, you kind of feast on the corpse at that point, right? And there can be, and D&D, there can be a resurrection. So the reality is, MOTU Revelation, Masters of the Universe Revelation, it sucked. It was terrible. It was an absolute travesty that disrespected the source material incredibly much. But I had a blast with it. I loved it, right? I loved the experience. I loved the content before. I loved the content after. I did not like the content itself, right? And then I loved the 2 seasons of the show that I discovered because Masters of the Universe Revelation existed. So have heart, right? We're set if post-alignment D&D never arrives, and we are set even if post-alignment D&D does arrive. We can find a path to continue to enjoy the game. And that's what Masters of the Universe Revelation taught me, is your show can suck and still bring a ton of joy to a lot of people. And that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.